So, what is the opposite of object oriented?
See, lot of programmings are there. I would not say opposite. I would say from some programming language has different style of programming. Oriented.
Okay.
I can write some programming language style. PROGRA. So some programming language procedural programming. So inside this, let's say you see C programming language, then consider that is a procedural programming language, C. Okay. And there are functional programming language also, like Scala and other less many other programming language are there. And object oriented programming language also, a lot of programming language like C++, Java, and many more others are also there. I would be going there. And again, Python is also fall into this category, and Python fall into this category also, the different style of programming. So
So, Python
Python,
is both.
yeah, both. Oh, likewise, Java is also functional programming language now. So Java has a combination of object oriented programming and functional programming both. Now these are very broader terminologies and lot of things inside these. I mean, functional, again, I would say not pure functional programming language Java, but Java is a functional programming language now onwards. So that capabilities were introduced Java 8 onwards. So Java 8 onwards, some functional programming language capabilities were introduced in Java. So we are not going to discuss that part right now, but keep in mind I mean, right now we are discussing the object oriented features and other things, lot of things related
Okay,
to the
fine.
Java.
Fine.
And neither we would like to know about the C and other things related to the procedural programming language, and nobody will ask us those questions.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start one by one. First thing, when I say object oriented programming language, so object oriented programming language, we say normally the Java is pure object oriented programming language. Object oriented. Yeah. So far whatever we have learned, those are really basic building blocks. The same thing would be applicable no matter you learn C, Java, or other programming languages. Concept remains same, more or less. All right, now object oriented related concept, maybe we might have in similar kind of object oriented programming language, they fall into the same category, but other languages you would not see that. But likewise, I said if condition, for loop, other things, array, that will remain in regardless of any programming language, same thing, same concept carry everything. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's discuss. I was saying that Java is pure object-oriented programming language. So let's try to understand a small component inside this object-oriented programming language one by one. So the first thing I say when we say the object-oriented programming language, that is class. Now class is, I say, everything will be defined in a class only. Like we have seen a lot of programs so far, and those were written inside some class only, right or wrong, whatever the program we have written so far, those were written into some class itself. Those were not outside of the class. There, while many programming language are there which outside of class also we can write some program up till now. So what is a class? If I define a class in a simplest way, it's a blueprint. So blueprint, in a way, if I explain you, like the thing which is only a conceptual thing which we cannot touch, or I mean we cannot see those particular things. Say for an example, if I say an employee, can you touch any employee? Can you really see any employee? Right? Until unless I say that Hussein is an employee in XYZ organization, then I can imagine, feel, or touch Hussein. But I cannot say anything about an employee itself. Yes, I can understand about the concept of an employee, that okay, there will be some person who is working somewhere, and he might have some features, some attribute, and some responsibilities he is carrying with him. But I cannot concretely say anything about an employee. Do you follow me what I try to say?
Yes, we have to be
Right?
specific to describe him.
Yeah. Correct. So class is what? Class is a blueprint only. So blueprint, in a way, that now onwards we would be started thinking on the real world entity way only. The way things happen in a real world, on that way only we would start. Object oriented programming language says started thinking in a real world entity way itself, and define some blueprint, what you want to do, what project you want to do. For those, some skeleton, define as many skeleton, as many blueprint you want, you can define those, and then those would be considered your class, and out of those create some concrete object out of that. So say for an example, to understand this analogy more, let's try to understand some concept behind it. Let's say I would like to, one example we would like to take right now. So for an example, I want to uh, make a mobile application or mobile. So this mobile application I would like to make. Now I am saying the conceptual thing class, and class have couple of attributes with it, couple of things with it. First thing is data. Every class will have these capabilities at least. And second thing is operation on that data, yeah, or operation. So say for an example, we would like to think an object oriented way about the mobile application. Let's say my class, I would write a mobile class. Now what can you think about the mobile data? What a mobile, what data or what essential thing I can think of related to the mobile. Let's say I
Like
help you,
messaging or something.
let's say I help you, then you can also join me. Let's say if I talk about data, some manufacturer would be there, right?
Right.
Which is manufacturing the mobile, right? I may have operating system as well, right? Every mobile have operating system with it, correct?
Yes. Correct.
Also, say for an example, every mobile have a model, right? Some model, it's some model name with the itself, right? What
Right.
else? Think on the data. How much data you can think of? There's many would become their data itself, their variables itself. Say for an example, cost, right? I might have a cost of that particular mobile as well, correct or not?
Correct.
Let's say screen size,
It's features.
right? So it's features, right? Screen size. Let's say RAM. Every mobile have a RAM, right? So
Yes.
that's those many things you can think of. Let's say storage. Every mobile will store something, correct? So those are all data. Let's say battery capacity, correct? These are data itself. When I imagine a mobile, those many things comes into my mind. Display, right? And it might have some weight as well. Whatever we can think of about a mobile, right? But still we are not saying about any concrete mobile, correct or not? Let's
Correct.
say launch date, right? So mobile is launched on some particular time, so that is also about a mobile data we can think of. And what connectivity it provides, it supports like 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and so on, right? So these all are become the data of the mobile operation, right or wrong? I mean, we are like thinking in an object oriented way that okay, somebody is saying me that make a mobile class or mobile related thing, you have to make a program. Then in a lemon way, if I would have been a programmer, I would be first draw a skeleton for that. Okay, that I have to create some class related to the mobile, so let's find out the all features. So first of all, I collected as many data as possible related to that program. Now second thing, we have to think about an operation. What can operation is what? Operation is what a mobile can do, right?
Right.
And this one is data is like features or information. Features, all right, about the particular mobile. So let's say its operation could be send message, right? It is an operation. A mobile can send a messages. We type something and hit a press button and it will send a message. Likewise, it can receive a message as well, right?
Yes.
Anything else you can think of? Let's say send phone calls.
Browse the
This is
internet.
also browse internet, right? These are its operation. Download app, whatsoever operation it can do using my mobile, I can do. Watch video, right?
Right.
So there are n number of operations we can think of from a mobile. So these all are our operation. So if I say this data are variable in our programming language, and these operations are method in our programming language.
The functionality.
Okay, yeah, the functionality. So can I say a class is a bundle of two things? First, data plus operation, or in other words, I can say variable plus functions or methods.
Yes.
These things would be existing. If something exists in that box, so if I draw a diagram, this is a box with me. I have to define a class, that box. It might have some data defined here, and it might have some method defined here. So that is, these things are operations and these things are data related to this. So likewise, I can think of other example as well, like I discuss right now related to the mobile application. Let's say I want to think about the employee of any organization. So what could be a data about an employee? Tell me, what can you think of about the data employee,
Name,
right? Name should be there, correct? What else?
employee ID,
Definitely.
salary,
Very well.
department,
Great. Correct. And let's
yes,
say some operation. What could be an operations with respect to an employee?
duty. What is the job duty?
Duty, right? Whatsoever the duty he is doing, that could be an operation for an, or the whatever the method or whatever the things an employee perform, which we can say that particular thing. Like if I have written other things, like more concrete thing, like developer, I write. that could also become a class, right? Then again, a developer might also an employee, so it might also have this same feature, right? But it operation could be to develop something, right? To develop a code, to develop a program, something like that. That operation becomes change. For your supervisor, these things would be same. Again, we can make a separate class, but supervisor's duty would be, operation would be supervise you, right?
Right.
Or engage with the customer, right? Duty. The other operation is engage with client, correct?
Yes.
Or help internally, right? So these are there some duties, right? Right or wrong? These are
Sure.
some operations. So in this way, we have to think. The more we think, I mean, these all are the real world related things itself. So Java says, object oriented programming says, concept says, think as much as possible in a object oriented programming way itself. That is called the object oriented programming language. So first thing we discussed so far is a class, right? So class must have few things. First thing, first and foremost thing is a name. Without name, I cannot have any class, right? So name would be there. Then I can say dynamic behavior. So dynamic behavior means method, okay? And its attributes. So attributes is its data or variable. So far so good. Any
Yes.
problem to you?
No.
So
No.
so the same way now, let's say I create a class. One second. Let me create a new package class. So package would be day 10 and name would be, let's say, EMPLOY and finish. Now I'm not going to write any further in these classes public static void main. I will tell you why I'm not going to write a public static void main related things in few moments. So now I would like to write some data around this. So what I'm doing, I'm writing some data like name would be in string, so I write a name. All right. Then I write, let's say we whatever we have written over here ID. So ID could be in integer, so I write ID. Okay. Then second and int salary and we decided int string department. Okay, so that has become an employee class and now operation we are writing. So operation could be like public void duty, right? And your duty, it could be the other operation is like public void help customer, right? An employee can do that.
Yes.
The same way it could do perform billing for the client. So whatsoever the item has purchased, they can take care of that particular thing and something like that. I'm just writing some thing billing for the client, correct? So in this way lot of operations are possible. So now if we see it, it's just like a blueprint to me. If I see this class do nothing for me, just a blueprint which gives me some impression that okay, this is a class, object oriented class which have some name it, this is its name, which have some attribute with it, which is really a data over here, and which have some operation with it, right? So this is a class so far we have created. So these are the main things about the class. So if I say the summary about a class, that class has three components: its name, it must have a name, it must have a variable, and it must have a method. And the variable and methods are encapsulated, I can say encapsulated or injected inside a class. So class is a bigger box and it encapsulates the variable. I write data plus method or operation, correct? So this is my first definition. I mean, this is the first thing about a class. And moreover, we can do some other thing as well. What are those other things? That I can, somebody wants to know your name, your ID, your salary, your department, then I can write few more method as well here, like which we say getter and setters. I will introduce that as well. So string get name, okay, and this should return your name from here. The same way somebody can get your ID as well. Somebody can request for your ID as well. So I can write public and ID should be returned in int, right? So I say get ID. Did you get it? Right? These operations are also possible. I'm writing this intentionally because this will be used heavily with the class, and somebody can ask about salary as well. Maybe it is internally itself, but somebody can ask about salary. Get salary and
So
return.
far we just have a class and we have many functionality of that class. That's it.
Yes, we are trying to understand the class skeleton, that what a class can have and what are the various things we
Okay.
have seen so far. And
Okay.
class naming convention is clear to us, okay, that the class must start with a camel case
Capital.
letter, right?
Okay.
Capital case letter that we have already discussed earlier.
Okay.
Now I gonna discuss the other thing.
Okay.
That other important thing is second thing, the most important: create an instance of class. Okay, so how to create an instance of a class? Now we will discuss that. So far I tell you that the class is a blueprint. It does not do anything other than just giving me some idea that this has this kind of behavior, this kind of attribute this class have, and this operation this class would be performing. But actually I did not create, let's say I'm talking about an employee class, and we say that okay, employee would have such variables or such attributes like name, ID, salary, department, and it performs something: duty, help customer, perform billing, its name, ID and salary we can get. So those are its operations, I know. But how to create an object out of this, or object instance in other word is also called object. So instance and objects are inter used word. Somebody says instance or object also. Okay, so both things are same. When we say instance and object, both things are same. Now question arises that how to create an instance of any class. Okay, so let's try to do that. Now onwards, whenever we will be creating a class, the separate class for the testing purpose of that particular class we will be creating. Okay, so let's say I write an app or client employee, EMPLOY, employee test I write. Okay, now I'm in my main method. Now I have written a main method. See here, because I want to really test this class. So first thing, a declaration. Now there are two possible things of creating an instance of class. How to create an instance of a class. First thing is declare, and second thing is construct. Now declaration is like that. If I write EMPLOY employee and I write Hossein, comma, I just give a hypothetical name, or I can give just so that we can identify the employee. So this particular declaration is what it holds a special value called null at this moment, like I discussed earlier as well. Value null, meaning to say that if you have a TV, right? This television set is with you, and you want to use this particular television set for your, you want to operate this, then there must be some remote control would be there. So two remote controls I have created, which would be pointing out, two references which would be pointing out to this television set we have seen. So right now this part I have done, I have created a remote control part which is not pointing to actually any television set. So I have created a name employee declaration I have done, but it is not doing anything. It is not holding any concrete object as of now. The same way, like I write int I and I do nothing, that means I declare the integer variable, but this is not holding any value 1 2 3 4 5. I have not given anything to it. The same way I have created, I have declared a instance variable. We say these variable instance variable, we say it instance variable. Okay, because
Yeah,
it
it's
belongs to
from
some
here.
class, some object. Yeah, go on.
Hello. So
Yeah,
employee
go on.
is coming from where? Line number 11. Employee is from the class.
Employee is this class. This is an employee from here.
Okay.
I will explain you. Employee is coming from where? Let's say,
But we don't have data type for it.
see that okay, class, one more definition let me say you. Class is a user defined data type. Class
Okay.
is a user defined data type. How to correlate with it? Float or long, these are all
Primitive.
primitive type, or I can say system defined data type, right?
Right.
User, these are also a data type, and this is also a data type class. So somewhere both have some relationship. Why I am saying this? That int would have, this would be a bool, and it would have a integer value only 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now why I am saying class is a data type user? Like you and me, we have created that class employee, correct or not?
Correct.
And what it will have? It will have some employee only inside it with its capabilities, right? A pool of employee we can create inside this. So this is also a data type which will only holding some employee only, right?
Okay.
So we can say these are the primitive type. So already defined, like integer we know, double we know that it will be having 5.5, 6.5. So likewise, employee class is a user defined data type. User has defined, user has written this class. So again, this is a data type, but data type is user defined, and it will be holding or returning employee only. It would not be holding like integer, double, or any other thing. So far so good. Did you
Okay.
get the point what I try to say to you?
Yes.
Okay. Now I would like to construct an employee here. So to construct an employee, we have to write, I write one line equal to new. This new keyword I written earlier as well, and then I write employee. Now this construct an employee. Now what it does behind the scene, let's try to see that. Okay. So behind the scene, there is a memory area, heap memory area. This is a heap memory area. Whenever we create this particular line, I can say, I write here like this, so that time will be saved. Create an object in the memory. Okay, so what it will be doing, a plain object will be created. A plain object has taken birth in this universe, and its remote control is Hussein. This particular reference is holding this particular object. The same way, for an example, I write one more time. Sorry. Okay. I write one more time. And I write new employee. Okay. And then now don't confuse with the same box. New box will be created. Like an organization can hire multiple employee. In that way, when I write this new, then new employee will be created in an organization. So new box in a memory will be created. And who would be holding this particular reference variable will be holding this employee. Up till now, you have any clarity, I said, with respect to the memory,
Yes.
or any
So
confusion?
when we create a let's say new something using the new the name, this
Right.
will in the heap memory
The
a
object will be created.
place is going to get allocated, and that place is going to be referenced by the name Hussein or Kanaya.
That's correct. So likewise, say for an example, if I create a 10 employee in this way, right?
Yeah.
Kanhaiya, Hussein, anybody, Javed, Muhammad, and Jay, any name. So those many boxes would get created in the memory.
Yes.
So far so good?
Yeah.
Any confusion?
No.
All right. Now let me wipe it out and let's discuss the other concept inside this only. Now let's focus on one object at a time so that we can, if we will understand one object thoroughly, all objects would will carry the same meaning. Now let's try to understand this. One second. Let's try to understand this guy. What is this? What can you say this? If you
Employee.
correlate any,
This coming from the other class, the employee class.
yeah, this is coming class, but what is this? Generally, what we say this particular thing, whatsoever
So,
we learned so far, can you, I mean, correlate this thing with anything?
yes, this was we saw like earlier as you say functionality or the method.
Right? It is something look like a method, correct?
Yeah.
But I say this is not a method. It is a younger brother of method, which has absolutely different functionality it has been provided. So now let's go outside and try to understand this. Okay. So let's understand this now. Okay. All right. So when we write this line, this particular thing is called, this thing is not a method. First thing, we write with adjacent to the new keyword, that is not a method, that is called a constructor. So first new concept came into our mind that this is called constructor. Okay, so this particular name which I have write is called constructor. Now any other special things you can see with respect to this constructor other than method? I can write it for you and then you tell me. Its name is same as class name. Right or wrong?
Right.
Right? So I'm writing now constructor's features. What is constructor? Constructor is a guy which is similar like a method. First thing, first its feature is similar like a method, but not exactly a method. Okay. First thing. Second feature is same name as class name. Right? Now, constructor is also a method. And how to define a constructor? Let me write there. Here in an employee class itself. Now I'm going to an employee class. So far we have write data and operation here.
Right.
Correct? Now I'll be defining a constructor of this class. So what a constructor look like? See carefully. Public employee and this. Okay, what if I say this is a constructor for me? Now, if you see it with a normal method, what difference you can see about this constructor and a method? If you compare, see above you have one method. So if you see carefully, what difference you can observe between constructor and method?
No return. No return type.
Very nice. Constructor never has any return type.
But
Why
don't
it
you
does
need
not have?
the new keyword now?
No, new keyword is just a special symbol for a programming language that it says it's trigger, it's carry a special meaning for the JVM that I have to allocate some memory, heap memory, and that type should be an employee itself. So this is a special keyword. See, it's, a color is different. So we don't need to write new there. Whenever I'll be creating object into my memory, I have to write new keyword along with the constructor. Then automatically the object will get created inside a memory.
Okay.
Okay, so no need to write new over there. And second thing, what are the primary now so far so good? Did you understand the constructor concept or not?
Yeah.
Any problem?
No.
Right? So can I
Constructor
write
has
a next?
no return type.
Right, while a method have the return type, correct?
But one question. So what is the function? What is constructor going to do?
I am coming to that. That is
Okay.
nice question, and I that will be the next explanation. So I can write does not have a return type. You started feel sleepy?
Man, every day.
Is it due to the class?
No.
I
Because
mean, look like a boring
I
class, or you
no,
get
no, no.
something?
Because no, that is not the case. Because we come home like 4 or 5 o'clock, and
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes come like 6, 7
Unusual
o'clock.
routine for you this time.
Yeah,
That's okay.
and of course we wake up for for Rosa like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
So, I mean, how long this Roja will be continue?
Like 25 more days.
Okay, so this is for 1 month, right?
Right? Yes.
Oh, very long period of time.
Yeah, we're used
Okay.
to it. No problem.
So, how many times it comes in a year? Once
Only one time.
only?
One time. Yeah.
Okay, only one time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now let's see a responsibility of constructor that you ask. We have seen that it is look like a method, but it does not do any functionality. We have seen neither it is helping us out. I mean, secondly, neither it is related to the variable. Then why we define a constructor over here, which is similar like a method name, does not return anything to us? Then what it does? So I'm going to write a responsibility of the constructor. What if I say it initialize instance variables, all instance variable? I said it initialize all instance variable. Now what the heck is this? Now try to understand this part. To understand this part, let me go to the employee class one more time. These are the variable of my employee class,
Right.
correct? I write here. Okay. Now, once I write, now I'm writing EMPLOY employee. Now I'm writing EMP1 over here. Okay. And new EMPLOY and then this constructor I have written. So now I will again create an object, bigger object in the memory for the explanation purpose to you. So let me go a little bit down. Very nice. Okay, so let's say this bigger object get created in the memory, and this EMP1 is referring to this object. and this is located at memory location 1000. Now again this box bigger object have four things within it, four different things within it. First thing is name, second thing is ID, third thing is salary, and fourth thing is department. Now what is a responsibility of constructor is, whenever we will be defining a constructor, it will be initialize these all variable. It will initialize all variable. So what it will be doing, when we have not supplied any name, ID, salary and department, then it will giving them a default value. I'm writing a default value. Start capturing me, right? Start following me, whatever I say. So default value means name. I did not provide anything. So in previous class I said, with respect to the string class, any other class, if I don't write anything, then that becomes a null for me. I mean, in memory, there is again other placeholder is there. If I write something like this name, this variable is there, and their null is there, and name is pointing to this particular object in the memory. ID also got created whenever we have the integer value, their default value is 0. Whenever I have salary is integer, their default value is 0. And department is again string, so its default value is null. Something like this it does. This particular constructor provides its default value, or in other words, I can say initialize a value of this particular object. So far so good, or any confusion?
No.
Okay, now let me show you this output, just to prove my point that this value is being printed over there, and then I will show you the real power of the constructor, because this is what it is supposed to do. Then what benefit we got? These are the default value which it has given. It did not give us a concrete value to these variables which belongs to this object. We will discuss that next point as a next point, but before that, let's look into the our program, and can I retrieve these values or not for now. Okay, so I come to the this test program, and rather than writing Hossein and Kanaya, it would be better to write employee 1 and 2, right? Because this gives me an impression of name Hossein and Kanaya. This is which
Okay.
is a variable of employee. So it's better to write employee 1 and 2. Okay. Okay. Now, when I created, for now, I just comment it out. If I write what should be a value, so employee 1 dot, if I write get name, see getter method will be giving me a name of that particular, I mean get name, what I say, what I write in a get name, inside get name I am writing a variable latest value itself, whatever the variable hold the value, whatever this diagram hold the value inside a name, that get name will give me, that operation will give me. So right now when I write a constructor, it should return me null, because I did not set any value to this particular person. So if I write name employee dot get name, then it's supposed to give me what I say, null value. See here, can you see the null value here?
Yes.
One second, in the console here, see here, right? did you did you see the value?
Null. Yes.
Right, the same way if I write get department, I didn't write department, let me quickly write a department as well. Let me take a shortcut. uh, okay, department getter I have also write in that way, just imagine that. and get department. Now what should be the value of get department according to you? What should be an output? If you follow along with me, what should be an output of the line number 17 now? Any thought?
Yes. EMP get department. So we have to go to the employee class, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Employee get department.
Get
It returns
department.
the department. So what is the department right now? What is the value of department?
The department value is nothing now.
So nothing means what
Null.
should it print? Null, right? So if I run it, it should print me null. But what if I
Null.
write get salary? Then what should be an output?
And salary is in data type to 0.
Very nice. So if I write 0, right? Now
Yeah.
coming to my next point, which is really important thing. So as I define, the main objective of constructor is to initialize all these variables. So how to initialize all these variables? So now let me just okay, just showed me. Okay, now coming to my next point, that constructor main works. Now I will define one more time constructor as well. I will be copy and paste from here for our purpose. So this was a constructor where I did not write anything. Okay, now I will write one more time constructor. Then how does it do something like this? Constructor public, then employee, then its body I'm defining. My name, then int my ID, then int my salary, then int my department. Okay, and after that I write this, and I write name equal to my name, or rather write into the ID. Maybe I can type fast. So I'm writing a different constructor now. Okay, employee, and I will write name. Now ID equal to my ID, then is a salary equal to my salary. Now last one is department equal to my department. One second. Okay. Okay, department I mistakenly write int string. Okay. Alright. Now public pub. I have written public only. Create class. Okay, sorry. Public p was capital case. I was looking what was the mistake. So this constructor I have created. So what this constructor is doing for me, it is initializing all the variable. All the variables. Did you get this? I mean, those variables are this name, ID, salary, and department. Now, how these get initialized, I will show you in a little bit. Let's see that particular part now. So what I have done, name, ID, salary, and department I have written. So let's go one more time here, and I write like the same employee now one more time. Let me comment this out, and emp1 now equal to new, and I write employee and second constructor I called, and name, now I will be providing name. So I have provided Hossein here. ID is, let's say, 101. Salary, let's say $5,000, and department, let's say, I don't know, sales or what. So this particular thing I have given to the object now. So what will gonna happen now? Now let me show you this there, and then I'll show you in the IDE as well one more time. Here I have written this. So this time around, what will happen, that again an object will be created here in the memory, this bigger object, right? This employee one will be holding to this object, and this time around I have 4 variable: name, second one ID, third one salary, and fourth one is department. So name, whatsoever name I have given here, that would be go to this name. So name will become Hossein. ID I have provided here, so ID will go here, and IDE will be 101. Salary I have provided here, salary would be 5,000, so salary will go here. Department is sales, so sales will go here. Now we have provided everything to it. Can you see this, or do you have any problem to understand this so far?
No. So you created another employee, EMP1, and then you initialized the values of the employee, right?
Class all the variable of the employee.
Of EMP1 using the constructor.
Right. So in turn, within the construct, so in turn that object would have all these variable value, right? This object whatsoever will get created in the memory will have all these value. So what is the difference between first and second? First one was created an object into the memory. We can still see that the first approach, but it did not initialize any actual value to those all variable, right?
Right.
First constructor. This is called default constructor. If we don't write, then also it get injected in our classes.
If we don't write, sorry?
Yes, if we don't write in our class like this, then also it get injected in our classes. For an example, I comment this out, okay? And if I don't write this as well, but still, if I write this particular line, let me comment this out and uncomment this line here. Still, it is not throwing in any error, right? So internally compiler does it for us. I mean, we don't have to worry about this. This is the default constructor is by default injected in our class. I will be discussing more thing about constructor later on, but so whatsoever is required for now with respect to the understanding, we are moving slowly with respect to the concept. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So far, so good. Any problem to understand this program?
No. So first we have the employee class. Can we go to the employee class, please,
Yeah. Yes. Yes. One
in
second.
the IDE?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. One second. I have to reintroduce this as well. I will tell you why. Yeah. Now let's discuss.
Okay, so in the employee class, we created some. The class, as you said earlier, it is combination of variables and methods, right?
Right.
So
That's
so over here we have many variables, as we can see in line 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we created many methods also
right.
over here, or operations as you wrote. So these are our methods, and then we saw the constructor. The constructor is used to initialize the initialize
Instance
is
variable.
like the employees
Variables. Right.
variables. Okay,
Whatsoever variable name, ID, salary, department only we write. So it will initialize these variables. Okay.
okay,
So this is called our default constructor. I said that as well, right?
all right,
And this is called parameterized constructor.
hmm?
Why we are saying parameterized constructor? Because we are passing so many parameters here. These value, right? These parameters.
Okay,
That is why. Or one more thing you can see, both constructor have the same name, which means, isn't it overloaded constructor? We have read about overloaded things as well. Add,
all right,
passing one argument, add, passing two argument, three
all right,
argument, right?
yes,
So I'm just correlating previous concept also, whatsoever I write, and I will keep on saying those things so that you can brush up those things, right?
all right,
Just I'll show you. Overloaded constructor also I can say,
yes,
because this is, it has some small capabilities, it has many capabilities. Its responsibility is more than this 47 to 49 line number, right?
okay,
So far so good. Now as I write this, why not we debug this particular thing into the memory, and I will be plotting up a diagram one more time, what's going where, right?
okay,
And I put a debugger here as well, and then we will see everything. Okay, I came back. Shall we proceed, brother?
please, yes, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, now I will debug it and draw a diagram for you as well here. I started debugging, and maybe we can now this time around one more time we can see all these variable as well, and then I'll show you the actual debugging part as well. 2 3 4, so let's say I see salary, I see name, I see the uh, what else, ID and department. First let us test whatever we have written, we get those values or not, right? Then we will debug it. So can you see 5000 Hossein 101 and sales? Earlier we were having null 00 and null something like that,
All
right?
right,
Correct. So it means the things started working fine for me, but I would like to visualize how the things are working for me. So now let's start with the diagram and with debugging on. Okay. Okay. All right. So what's going on so far in the memory? I will be removing this guy from here, and okay, all right. Let me draw a pen here. Okay, it's creating again some problem. Let me see if I can pull a tool or not. 1 second. Again, yes, here it is. Okay, I say it clear all. Not sure what's the problem. Okay, then yeah, now it has appeared. So see carefully the diagram I will be plotting here. Okay, so first of all, I have this employee reference here, right? This
Right.
reference.
Where is your cursor?
Now, see, I have not written anything. This is my employee reference,
Okay,
right?
right.
So when line number 21 will get executed, see, I'm passing 4 different boules with value. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has, first one has Hossein, right?
Yes.
This one has 101. This one has 5,000. And this one has sales, right? So this
Yes.
is my name. I'm writing I did not write, but I have the actual value. So this is string, this is integer, and the third one is also integer. Okay, and this is 5,000, and sales is here, right? So this is kind of 5,000 value. Now as soon as I go inside the next class, now I am right now in the employee test class. Once I will press F5, I will go to the employee class constructor, this constructor, parameterized constructor. Okay, so I just press there, and see here, I reached here. Okay, now do you see these have the another 4 bowl here? Okay, let me again write those. These 4 bowls I'm writing one more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. What are the name of these bowls? I'm pointing you here. This is my name bowl. This is my ID container. This is my salary container. And this is my department container. Now, those values, whatever I have written, like here I have written Hossein, this will come here. That thing we have discussed earlier as well, right? From here to here. Here to here, it would be copied in this container. Now, 101 will come here. Now, this 5,000 will come here. And now, this sales will come here. Up till now, any problem to you with respect to the understanding? This sales will come here.
Okay.
Any problem?
No.
Right? That's why I'm creating all the diagram. Now, what's going on? Now, these are a different variable. These are the actual member variable, which are showing in the name, ID, salary, and department. I will draw this here. Name, ID, one I draw here, and one I draw here. So this is actually the instance variable. This, if I show you, these instance variable, name, ID, salary, and department, blue color, the same I have used there, here. So I have name here, right? This variable, which is an instance variable to me. 1 second. Let me select again, right? This name is this ID is this salary is this, and this department is this, and these values get assigned from here, copied from here to here. From Hussein, this is get copied here. Now Hussein will come here. Similarly, 101 will come here, from here to here. 5000 is coming here, here to here, and sales is coming here. Can you imagine how much things, so many things are happening here,
Yes.
so many variable, and that's why I have designed all those diagrams for you.
I
This one,
see.
this category belongs to the variable of my class. These are my class variable. This variable came from my employee test class. These are my employee test class variable. So one few variables travels here and there, employee test class variables, internal, and these things are method variable or constructor variable. Constructor variable. So see, three places these variables has travels, just copied from one place to other place and copied from the other place to the different place. Third place it has get copied, and in this way, by switching from here to here and here to there, it came from first, it jumped from here to here, and later on these got jumped to this point to the this class variable level points, and in that way it get copied. Is this terminology clear to you or not?
Yes, it is.
Right? So that is, in this way it is working. If that is not clear, then there is a problem. I mean, I can again, in a shortest way, I can redraw that. Here was the, this area is was employee test class. Okay, I will not write a value now. So all four variables were exist there with value, whatever some value is here, 1 2 3 4. I'm writing, I'm not writing all name, it will save our time. Then second area was a constructor area, again that get copied here, 1 2 3 4. This is constructor method variable, right? These variable, those get copied. Then third area was this instance area, the class structure we understood, and 1 2 3 4 will come here as well. I mean, I imagine 1 2 3 4 as a Hussein, 101 5000 and sales. Okay, so it came from here to here, and it goes from here to here, and this constructor has helped to initialize all these things, right? So did you get the point? If I show you here, if I press F6, see carefully, it will be populated there as well. If I erase this, erase all, then see, if I hover my cursor here, go to the this, it will show us. See this, my name, my ID, my salary, or my department, the diagram I shown underneath it. These all four are related to the constructor. And these four are related to the, see their default value can also see. Department right now null, ID 0, salary 0. Hossein is there because I am at right now line number 56. If I press F6 here, this ID will also have the value from 101. But notice that Hussein has not wiped out from here. Hussein exists here as well and here as well. The same way I explained you earlier, the logic, right?
Right.
So see here, 101 exists here also and here also. Correct or not?
Yes.
And salary become 5000 both places, and department also sales. Now what it has done, it has actually initialized the data of our object, this name, ID, salary, and department. Did you get the point?
But those are those are instance variable, right? How are the
Yes.
instance variable going to be initialized by using, so you're by using the constructor, right?
This way, in constructor from its local container, I am just pouring to the instance level variables. So constructor, this constructor, I can draw. See, this is my constructor, imagine, okay?
Okay.
And all four container have some value inside the constructor,
Yeah.
right? I'm just writing 1, 2, 3, 4. Just save my time to write Hussein 101 or that. And this is my variable, right? That
This is a
is,
class
I mean,
variable.
the class variable. Okay,
Yeah.
these are class variable, and this is my constructor. So I'm saying constructor initialize. So how it is initialized? It copy from here to here, right? This value copy 1 to 1, and how it is copied here? This line is copying, right? Assignment is happening from here to here. Similar way, if I write int x, I mean int x equal to 5 and y equal to, if I write int y equal to x, then what gonna happen? X have 5 here
Mm-hmm.
and this y variable, and if I write this, then x value goes here also. The same concept is applied here also. In this way, it is initializing from its local variable. It is copying into the instance variable name itself, right? From its local my id, it is copying into the id. This is my name. I write one only, my name, and this is name. So in this way, it is initializing from here to here, from here to here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here to here. Did you get it or get confused?
Okay. Yeah, I get it. So for clarity, we use the constructor to initialize even the class variable.
Yes. It's only responsibility. I mean, constructor is meant for any class in Java or any programming language to initialize the class variables. This is the only responsibility this guy have. Nothing else it knows. Something like if I go to your store and the person who sits at the main door, its main responsibility is to check the person who goes inside the store. Nothing
Right.
else that person do. The same way, this constructor have the single responsibility that whenever it will see any instance variable of the class, it will initialize them. Now it depends, if that person has given this particular responsibility, this guy, then it will be initializing those all class variables with their default value. If those are string, then null, or any other class, then null, and the primitive type, then 0 or 0.0, something like that. But if we have defined overloaded constructor, then it will, whatever the value we originally supply, those got assigned to the class level variables to in the memory. Did you get these points thoroughly? I mean, this is really important when once we start the object oriented, once we start thinking of the object oriented way.
Okay. So what you say right now, line number 47, this is the default constructor. Now,
Yes.
if we execute that, then we're going to see the default values depending on the data type. Line number 54, this is the overloaded constructor. Over
Yeah.
here,
Oh,
the values we can determine and we can, I guess, inject here.
yes, right.
Okay. Maybe one more
Okay.
example would be better.
We will take one more example, but before that, I can, I would like to say one more thing. I mean, default constructor is think like a, see, constructor we are saying, then that particular object get I mean existence in the memory, right? That get birth into the memory. So same way, like say for an example, when we write default constructor like this, new employee. So meaning to say that, let's say for real world example, these are parents and they given birth to a baby, but they did not plan anything for this baby. They did not plan any name at the time of birth. They did not plan anything for this baby. So that is a default constructor for you. It has come into the existence, but nothing was planned for this baby. So that's why it however it exists in the memory, but when we discharge normally in India, when we discharge and we don't provide any name, then the birth certificate they make, then they just write a mother name, baby and mother name, something like that. So
Hmm.
default constructor is like that only. However, it has come into the life, come into the world, so that particular object comes into an existence, but nothing got initialized with respect to its variable, its capabilities or its attribute. While parameterized constructor is like that baby which was well planned baby. When it take birth, their parents has already decided that okay, its name should be Hussein only, right? So at the time of birth itself, they supplied all the argument value that okay, it will be Hussein, it will be doing this and something like that. Just a hypothetical example. So something like this difference we can imagine. However, both person exist into the memory, but one person have the less capabilities, not less capabilities with nothing has been given to it, but still it exists into the memory, while second has a full-fledged capacity at the time of its birth itself. So we can say when it come into the memory with its default initialized variable value itself, this person came into the memory, it has an existence, but default it does not have any values with respect to its capabilities, its attribute, those all are default only, nothing else.
Okay.
Did you get this? I mean, some more clarity around the default
Some
constructor
more
and parameter.
clarity. Default
Right.
class,
Now we will take one
default
more.
constructor has no values.
Right. Now let's say one more example we will take. All right. And we will do it in single place itself. So that would be far more helpful. So let me do one thing, and then I'll be introducing few more things. I write one class test student. Okay.
No, brother, please write student,
Okay.
and then we're going to do test student.
See, you I done it intentionally. Why I done it? I want to do both classes in one source file itself with respect to the understanding. Here is test student for us. I mean, there is a possibility that in one source file itself we can write multiple files.
We can have two class in the same program.
Right, same program we can have. However, this is not a best practice, but with respect to the understanding, I'm writing here so that you can easily correlate and we can easily draw a diagram also for this.
Okay, fine.
That's why I write here. Now I'll write a string name, only couple of things, okay?
Yeah,
And
don't
int
give too many values. Only maybe two. That is fine.
roll number. Right. I mean, does not make any sense. Now I'll be making its constructor as well. So I'm taking a help of one second. This constructor I have created. Okay.
You confuse me when you do this one.
Okay. All right.
You
Let
confuse me
me.
when you use the
Okay. I thought that constructor. See, I write public, then no return type student. Okay.
student. Okay,
Okay. I
this is the
write.
default. Right now, this is the
Right.
default constructor. Okay.
Okay. Let's write the default one and test it. Okay. And here I write a main class. The reason I'm writing this that both thing we can do in a single source of file itself, right? So that we can
Okay.
easily see all the things. Otherwise, we have to set the switch the tabs, one class and other
Right.
class to
Right.
look at. That's why I intentionally do it. And
Okay.
secondly, I mean, couple of more concepts related to this, that when we have more than one class right into the single source of file, we have to save the class name with respect to the public class only. It will be saving the class name. Did you get the point?
So why? Why is it
What
going
I
to use
mean?
only public class? Why not the student class?
Okay. Now coming to that. When we save, I mean, only single name is possible at the time of saving of the class. Correct?
Correct.
See, what I try to say. Let's say let me come here so that I can explain easily. All those concepts also we will See, I write class A, okay, small, I did not write anything. And class B,
Yeah.
imagine both are in the
Same
single
source file.
source.
Okay.
Single source. This I diagram it. When I going to save this file, can I give two names with the file name? I have to
No, it
give
has to
one
be
name only,
one name only.
right? So Java says either choose this or this. You cannot
Oh,
write
okay.
A, B. So,
Okay.
and secondly, whatever the file name we save, the name we save with, let's say I decided to make it b.java file name, then that class must be public. This is a rule in Java. That class must be public. We cannot, the source file which we save in our file system, that class must be public. Otherwise, we cannot have that name. And the remaining other classes should not be public there. Okay. If we
So,
take multiple classes
so what if
into the
class A
single
was
source,
public also?
no, that was not the public.
That's one.
See,
Okay.
this was public, while that is not a public, right? So,
Right.
however, this is not a good practice, because while looking here, when I don't look here, I get confused that how many classes I have, because I
Yeah.
write multiple classes here. So, this
Okay,
is
fine.
never ever a good practice, but just for our understanding, our readability get increased, I write this. So,
That is fine.
I introduce couple of more concept to you. Okay, so
Okay.
whenever we have a single source file which have multiple classes over there, and the class which we are going to save should be a public class itself, that thing, and we can save with that name only. If I try to save the name, class name with student, it will start complaining to me. Okay, because neither the main method is defined there and nor it is a public class. So far so good.
Good.
Now I would like to take a birth one student. So how to do student stu1? Okay, and equal to, I have to create in memory, I have to write new keyword, and its constructor I have to call. See, it's calling of constructor itself, right? Like we call
Right.
a method, the same way we are calling a constructor.
Okay.
Now I want to get the name and roll number. So rather than writing direct, I can write the getter as well. I can write public and string and get name, right? I just
Okay.
and return. Any problem to understand this?
No.
Simple method, which is returning this. Whatsoever value this variable is holding, this will be returned from here. Second
Okay.
getter, I write public int
And roll
get
number.
roll number, right?
Okay.
And I say it return. I just need to get it, so that's why nothing else logic we need there. So I write this so that I can have a look here in the client class. Okay, so what I say, system.out.println and stu1 dot, see, everything appears. I would like to see get name, and I would like to see dot get roll number. Now tell
Roll
me
number.
what should be an output of this program.
Before I tell you the output, can you minimize the console?
Console, okay, all
This,
right. Control
no, no,
M,
no.
yeah,
No, no, yeah, okay, fine. So let's go, if you do not mind. We have two classes here. We have one class that is called the student class. The other is the test student class. So
right,
let's say the class student, this is our main class. In this one, we have two variables we defined, name and roll number. And then we have two methods. We have get name and get roll number, two methods. Fine.
right,
And then we also have a default constructor, which is doing nothing. And then we have
right,
another class that is the student test student class, where we have the main method. Inside the main method, we're calling no, inside the main method we created a object which is stu1, student1, right? Using the
right,
new
very
keyword
nice,
and the constructor. Okay,
right,
the constructor helped us to create the student object in the heap
right,
memory. Now,
right,
coming to line number 24, we are using the system.out.println to call the object to stu1. You are using stu1 the object dot the dot the get name, which is the method, and that should print us
Right.
the name, right? Which is going to
Right.
be
Now,
null, which is going to be null.
right.
And again,
Right.
for line number 25, we're using object stu1 dot the method, which is get roll number. That is going to be the default value for int 0.
Very nice. And I draw a diagram for you as well, right? The same time.
Right.
Okay. Those many variables that created at the line number 25, and whatsoever we have, their getter was giving me the name is name, and the roll number is roll number here. Very nice. And you just sum up everything very well. That means you understood all the things so far, and you can see here null and zero above, right? Let me
Yes.
erase. Right. Now let's
Okay.
take a capability of default constructor. Okay, so now let me write a public student. So today so many things you understood, right?
A lot of
String
things to digest.
my name. Even I did not write. I did not confuse you with the same name. Otherwise, you could have get confused. I'll write the name and the. I mean, whatsoever name here and here, I'll write it a similar way later on, and then I'll introduce few more concepts there also. So right now, I'm writing variable name different. What happens if I write the same name that also have some concepts? So not doing that right now. Not everything in one go.
No, brother, I'm sorry. It's 8:30. I have to stuff. My time limit is 8:30. I have to be at the store
Okay,
at 9 o'clock.
so should we close this class right
Yeah,
now?
if you don't mind, please. I have to leave.
Okay, then we will discuss the remaining concept tomorrow. Okay.
For
I
now,
mean, lot of
aside
yeah.
from what you wrote right now, until that, from I understood. So we will continue from line number 17 tomorrow.
Yes, default constructor onwards we will. Sorry, from the parameterized constructor onward we will be
We'll
discussing
continue.
tomorrow.
All
Right,
right.
lot of concept. I mean, we need to spend at least 7-8 days to this object oriented concept itself. If that get clear to you, nothing is worried about Java. You can I mean read all things yourself also. I mean,
We
after that you would have
we have
clarity.
time on our hand, inshallah. We have a lot of time in our hand.
Yeah, we have. I mean, those have a lot of other concepts as well. I will be taking because these are the basic building blocks. So those things are clear. Then you will read anywhere in the web or internet, and you will get those things easily. You will started capturing those things. So
Okay.
I just started. Even I think 60 hours are also less, but I'll try to sum that. I'm trying to including those concepts only first, so that which are most essential. Without that, we cannot survive in Java. Those
No
things
problem.
I'm taking. Okay.
That is fine.
All right,
Okay,
brother.
brother. Let's
See
continue
you.
tomorrow. I have to get going.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. No problem. Even 2 hours are enough. Even I have other works.
Absolutely. Okay. Bye bye.
Okay, buddy.